Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Buck and I'm coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2, and we are continuing our journey with our K100 Kenworth versus a 62-ton tank. And we've done really well in our first. I've really gotta, yeah, I'll adjust that. I gotta tip my mouse upside down so that it stops moving the screen. We did really good on our first leg, and barring things going terribly wrong here, we will hopefully do really good on our second leg. Hopefully. Should put my headlights on. Yeah, unfortunately we're going to be driving in the dark again. So we actually don't get to see the truck in the light too much, which I find immensely annoying, but what else can you do? I'm pretty sure I'll be able to cover the 611 kilometers in one run. When I do the Peterbilt, I'll try to avoid going this way. It's just, I couldn't ignore taking 62 tons to a new city over what looked like a nice climbing road. I love those mountain climbs. As difficult as they can be, I love the mountain climbs. Hook me up to a heavy trailer and just set me loose. And, let me see what I can get. You know? Am I going to have to downshift you? Yeah, we'll downshift you. We'll take it to 7th. I don't see a reason to shift. All right, well maybe one gear, because we're right here. Why can't there be a road that just goes left right here? Maybe that's what that construction's about. Alright, are we clear? It looks like we're clear. Alright. There's a truck coming, but that's okay. I wonder if this could possibly happen in real life. I honestly don't think so, but I suppose it's possible. What I mean by that is a civilian truck hauling a tank. I know that they do charter planes, and why is my cab still jumping? It shouldn't be. I know that they do charter planes, and sad how I figured that out. That came from that crash of that 747 that was hauling, I believe it was military vehicles, strikers, and they have to do steep climbs, and I guess by investigation or by speculation, whatever the case, it was said that apparently this really should not be moving for any reason, and why it is, I don't know. I see my cab like jerking around, and it's like really annoying. But anyways, what I was trying to get at is that's how I learned that the military does, contract civilian companies to handle some of their transportations. But I wonder if if they'd really hire civilian vehicles to haul a tank, because I do know that they do this. I do know that they haul tanks on the road. I've seen it. I'm gearing wrong right now, I know it. And are not clear. Looks like we're clear enough after him, though. Clear enough. Alright, our favorite point of interest here. I am interested to see this, so nice. Yeah, still lifted the cab. Again, I don't know if that would actually happen or not, you know? I really don't. These buildings annoy the piss out of me. We scraped the underside. That's okay. And the trailer. Alright, so these speed bumps are not good for business. No, let's just flip past the tree. And we're good. I love that little floating ball right there. How it moves with my gear shifting. I don't know if it's trying to tell me what gear I'm in by doing that, or what's going on, if it's supposed to be a compass, or, you know, what is it? Yeah, I took that corner. I underestimated the length of the trailer for that corner. And that is actually what's going to make, like, climbing steep roads, steep hairpin turns a little bit more difficult. You can wait. We're gonna clear, right? Yeah, barely, but we cleared it. I mean, not only do we have an ungodly, you know, long trailer, but the Kenworth itself is actually a long truck. And I'd almost dread to think if we have a nose, you know, if we had a nose on this thing at this point. That would be scary. Right. Quick little sharp downhill here. Help us gain a little bit of speed, which would be nice. But even things like that I have to be on top of, because under most vehicles, that little downhill I wouldn't have to shift gears. In the Kenworth, yeah, it's actually enough that you got to pay attention and hit the gear shift, because the gearing is just that, you know, the gearing is just that close together. And of course, our favorite little cow area, our little ranch. I love seeing the Kenworth go by. Another one just went by there, because it's actually, unless you're really paying attention, it just blends in with all the other cab overs in my eyes, you know, because it's cab over. I've always been a fan of the cab over trucks. Even as a little kid, I've loved the cab overs. But, you know, the lion's share... I'm going to get a speeding ticket, aren't I? Nope, amazingly. The lion's share, and by a vast amount of the lion's share, American trucks are, you know, normal cab, or what I guess we'd call normal cab, because in Europe, normal's cab over. So yeah, I mean, they're cool and all, don't get me wrong, I love all trucks, but anytime I saw a cab over, I'd be like, oh. you know. And that's one of the main reasons I took to driving Euro trucks so much, and one of the reasons I absolutely loved it. I need a break right now. Well, that's one of the reasons I took to this game so much, is that every truck in here is a cab over. Every truck in this game was a cab over. Volvo, Mercedes, DAF, Iveco, Scania, MAN, you know, all cab overs. And, you know, I just ultimately fell in love. Which is one of the reasons I haven't, like, really modded in American trucks, is because I like the cab overs. And even though I now have modded in the Peterbilt, yeah, we're gonna suffer on these hills. I shouldn't shift twice. If I don't make the haul, it's because I'm going to be really slow on the hill climbs. If I don't make it in one haul. Yeah, so even though I modded in a Peterbilt, I'm only doing that recently just to have a variety of trucks in my stable. And I thought it'd be interesting to pit them against heavy loads. Now, when I saw that the Kenworth K100 came out, I was actually a little skeptical, because I think I mentioned this before. I actually tried it. I really need to be over in the other lane. I actually tried it in a different version of it, an earlier version. And this was not recently, this was a while back. And it just didn't work. It didn't work at all. It didn't crash the game or anything, it just didn't work. But when I found out it was re-released like this, I don't know if the original person, the person that originally put it out, redid it or what, but it was re-released, and you know, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to try it, and I came in, and there was the truck at the dealership, and I was able to buy it, mod it, drive it. I was like, ha ha! You know, I heard the angels at that point. Oh, ha, ha. Yeah, it's just, it was so cool. You really don't see cab over trucks, for the most part, unless they're box trucks. You know, there are a lot of box trucks now that use the cab over design, and of course, there's still a lot of box trucks that I might as well just shift now. There are a lot of box trucks that use the standard design as well, or what we call standard anyways, but there are more cab overs you know, in the box trucks stables. 9, no, 8, no, 7, maybe. I knew this is where this truck would have a hard time, but I knew it could handle it too because of the gearing. It's just going to be slow. Yeah, now we got to orbital on. I forget where I put my flashers, or I'd use those too. But even though this is going to be slow, this is realistic. This is how a truck would handle a 62-ton load, if it could handle a 62-ton road by itself up a hill like this. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the weight limit is before you have to have a push truck. You know, you look at ice road truckers. It was very common. It was very common on ice road truckers. You know, not common, but what I meant by common is you would usually see one or two loads that the hauls would be so heavy that you would have to have more than one truck. You'd have one truck hooked up to the trailer pulling, and then you'd have one or two trucks in the back pushing to give that extra thing to get up hills and whatnot, because your standard truck wouldn't be able to do it by itself. So would your average truck be able to handle a 62-ton load up a steep incline like this? I don't know, honestly. I've never gotten to drive them. I don't know what the common weight for truck hauling is. You know, that's just how it is. You know, the closest I got to driving trucks, as I mentioned before, is I drove coaches. You know, big 40, 45 passenger coaches, which was still a blast to drive. And I drove both major companies, although I forget the second one, because I usually tend to forget the one I don't like as much. I forget. I think the first one was just like initials, and then the second one was Van Hool, and Van Hool were my favorite buses. They seemed just a little bit better set up. They seemed just like better buses, I'm gonna be honest with you. We got one more steep corner climb for now, and whatever climb we take after that. As I see my ETA actually getting later and later. There's a big trip out. I'm used to see like getting like lower and lower, earlier and earlier in the morning. Yeah, we're gonna have to downshift for this, I'm pretty sure. Probably down to third. And we're holding in fifth right now at 17, but it's gonna get a little steeper, I think. Come on. Prove me wrong. Come on, prove me wrong. No, it's not going to prove me wrong. The bouncing comes in from the road. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it's set up. It's like that on all steep climbs, because I don't think a steep climb like this is supposed to exist. So it doesn't like match up perfectly, but it's fine. Oh, driver Kent. No, I never did get around to firing him, and he started making money again, so I'm giving him one more chance. So that was a tough climb for sure, but it was fun too, handling that big climb like that. I got a much greater sense of realism than I did on most other times I made a steep climb like that. So that was pretty damn cool. Right, let's like, for all intents and purposes, not roll this truck. That would be really great. little bit more climbing. Slow going. Slow going. Now comes the interesting part. Downhill. Falling rocks, high winds. I wish they would mod high winds in this game. I know I mentioned that before too. That's the only thing that's really missing that would really help with the immersion in this game, is winds. Because winds really do factor in on trucks. They factor in on trucks much more than they'll factor in on cars. If you're a truck driver or even a bus driver, you already know this. Figured I have to go back to third. I don't know how many cars are behind me. If you drive any big vehicle, you know that a wind factor can hit a truck harder than it can a car, especially if they're hauling the standard, big 40-foot, container trailer. Because that's just like as I've also referred to as the bus, is the driving billboard. Just driving a billboard, the wind hits it and it just shoves you all over the place. And you wouldn't think such a heavy vehicle would be muscled around, but trust me, it does. My vision's bopping around again. It's bothering me. We should start hitting some downhills at any freaking moment. You can only climb so long. I'm gonna need another rest stop. I'm sure of it. I still got 449 kilometers to go, and I'm already halfway through my meter, which again is not unexpected because that climb that we had to make. But yet here we are, still climbing. Just coasting the corner. Gas through it here as we slow down enough for me to feel safe. That's got to be our downhill area right there. Man, we have got to be up here, huh? Oh, I got dogs to feed. That's alright. They'll be alright for a little bit. Gotta be careful on these downhills, man. it bears repeating because I know I've said this before as well, but downhills on a rig or any heavy vehicle can be more difficult than an uphill. Because on an uphill, you just really got to find the gear that takes you at the nice steady pace that can handle the corner. You know, if you got a steep corner downhill, uphill, you know, you just got to find that. You got to make the right steerings, and you know, you got no more issue. Downhills, you have to control that descent using all of your means. I don't know why I'm getting zigzaggy. You know, you got to control that descent using all of your means, and if you're not careful, it's very, very easy to lose control. You know, if you're using too much brake, for sure. If you don't have your Jake brake set strong enough. On buses, it's pretty simple. On buses now, it's pretty simple. There's high and low Jake brake, and you always use low. And I think trucks would be the same. But then you gotta have the proper gearing as well. You know, you gotta have the proper gearing. And for buses, having the proper gearing simple. You know, they all have automatic transmissions now with first, second, third, and drive. So you just, you know, in the case of Haleakala, you just put your truck in or bus in first, second gear, depending on the bus that you have, and then ride the Jake brake down, using the brake to slow you down before the sharp corners, and you know, going through them, and then riding the Jake brake again on the straightaway areas. With trucks, man, you got a gear shift and clutch and gas and double clutch, gas. I mean, it can be daunting. Especially if you're new and you're tackling a hard run. And that's how I've always been. I always wanted the hard runs. I always wanted the difficult runs. I wanted the runs that went out of way and, you know, were tough roads. Which is why I loved driving my road to Hana so much. Had a nice little straightaway for a little bit, but we got to slow it down again. So the sun is coming up. We have lost about 2 hours, I think. We were set to actually, we're closing in on 3 hours. A little more than 2 hours in our ETA from that climb, but for now we're back down. And hopefully we can make up a little bit of the time. But, you know, we'll see. We're definitely going to need another rest stop. There's no doubt about that. We're definitely going to need another rest stop. And no crashes, and, you know, I dread to say that now that I've said it. It's like, jinx, 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 jinx. But, yeah, no crashes so far. So that's been really good. Fortunately, nothing on my left. I thought I switched something to air horns. I don't remember what. Because I definitely have air horns. Let me check my keyboard. I have got to check my keyboard for this. See where I've set my air horns. Because I haven't tried them. No, that was gameplay. I wanted keyboard. I'm sorry to do this in the middle. Air horn. N. I don't remember switching it to N. But okay. And it is. Nope. No air horn sound. That's alright. We'll try them on the other trucks. I have air horns on the other trucks and I don't know if they'll work, but we'll see. Because I'm pretty sure I've got modded air horns modded in. Some of them would be like from the game, and some of them not. I think. I'm not sure. One truck I actually still have to finish modding is the Mercedes. The problem is I've tried modding the Mercedes 3 times and crashed the game 3 times trying. And that's not so bad. I'm usually a very determined person. But the Mercedes has a lot of small lights on it, on the front, which is really annoying to have to keep doing. And several times I got deep into getting it finished and was just trying to do, experiment with a few extra touches, and I didn't change the cab or the chassis or anything, so it wasn't those kind of crashes. Like I tried to put a sign on the Mercedes that said Mercedes-Benz, and the game was just like, fuck you, and crashed. Gee, where's our next rest stop? Remember to look.jpg. Alright, that's actually kind of far. But, we're definitely going to need it. We're definitely going to need that rest stop. It doesn't look like we have any tough climbs left. But we're definitely going to need one more rest stop. So, right there is going to be our next rest stop. Hopefully we don't end up late. I mean, if we end up late, it's not our fault. Oh, you gonna move over for me? Thank you. Thank you. I'm thinking that's the Kenworth right there. The way you can really distinguish the Kenworth easily is the tall antennas on it. The Kenworth's the only one that has those really tall antennas on it. Where's my other hand? Oh, there it is. That might have sounded dirty. I'm sorry. Still, I'm pretty sure I have enough stamina left to make that rest stop. I was hoping to make this, 2 videos, but I had a feeling that heavy climb area, that I'd be really slow on that, and I would not likely have made it. So, again, here's hoping that it doesn't cause us to be late. I mean, if it does, it does. I'm not overtly worried about money. I don't have to make a profit anymore. I can just sit and cause the game to cycle through and just make more money than I could ever hope for. I could, borrow money from the bank and pay it all back instantly. I could just pay the bank at this point. In fact, the bank should be borrowing from me. They need to make it more difficult to start your own company. They really do. Driver moves, drivers quitting. Having drivers just quit would be good. Drivers coming and asking for raises would be good. Problems with trucks. This driver didn't just get into an accident with the truck. This driver totaled the truck. And so now you got to go and buy another truck. I mean, I know you'd have insurance, but it would still be something. I mean, you could try and, put in insurance in the game if you wanted to. Another slow down area. We're going to pop to the outside here. Yeah, there's the Kenworth right there. And he's got the big cab like I do. And then, yeah, I had that bull bar on the front. But I don't know, I didn't like it because when I have a bull bar, I need lights. I hear you yawning, girl. I almost didn't notice we were at our rest stop. I don't need fuel. I'm good on fuel. I still get half a tank left. And that's considering the run that I did prior as well. I did, like I said, I did half a run. Oh, actually, this is cars. I'm going to have to go over this side. Take it in the grass a little bit. Just try and help to get the trailer in here. Come on. I might be over too far. Yeah, that's what it was. Alright, brake, engine off. I want to take a look at the truck. Let's get rid of that. Lights off or on. Actually, I like lights on. And then we're going to take a quick screenshot. Then we are going to rest. All right. We have... Oh, we still got 16 hours to make this delivery. Pretty sure we'll be fine. Oh, shoot. I'm not paying attention. Stop. Alright, folks, that's going to be me done for this episode. With a little bonus footage on the end there. Until next time, this is One Big Bugger signing out. If you could leave a comment, rate, and subscribe, I'd be very ever grateful. Until then, folks, I'll see you on the road.